you guys are having a great evening. Um, we're headed to 2021, and the question is, at the end of this is a lot of people are calling this the how to quit their jobs, and I say that in a specific manner because we saw what happened with the pandemic. I'm not going to keep going back and forth with the pandemic, but we saw what happened about how to invest money and things of that nature because it was a lot of uncertainty at the time a year ago. This time last to wear a face mask, like this was not normal. You know what I mean? This is when I was working at a specific job back in the day. Appreciate it. I see my Cash App and PayPal. You know what I mean? But anyways, we're going to get it going. His customers increased, and he was actually on unemployment at the same time. Thing called double dipping and whatnot until he was able to drive up a certain client base. Because I remember like 3-4 months of the pandemic, a lot of people weren't even getting their hair done. People were barber job, but I think the pandemic is number one. That why people should know that it's time to quit. Who have a lot of skill sets of admin only. So whatnot. I was like, I know you got a bunch of apps. Do you have an Acorn app? Do you have a Stash app? Do you have a I want to say Peter Pan, Robinhood app. Robinhood app is signing up. And I even gave him my affiliate day that we're living in. All right. So number 3, the work environment is unhealthy. During this pandemic, we've seen a lot of instances where people's quality of life have skyrocketed because for those who were able to keep their job and were able to work from home, their quality of life just skyrocketed and out of this earth like SpaceX, and they couldn't be happier, and then a lot, like great example, I talked to another younger millennial brother yesterday about, he got a new job and he used to have to commute from Baltimore to Washington, D.C. The pandemic happened and he was able to work from home for the foreseeable future, or at least until the pandemic was over with. But now he's got with an actual new organization that he's supposed to, he's starting off teleworking and he's supposed to be teleworking for the foreseeable future. More and more corporations are moving towards that. And that is helping people be in a better work environment so they don't have to, let's just be honest. If you have to sit in the office with people you don't particularly care for, your quality of life kind of goes down. But if you're able to just do your job from your house, for most people, the quality of life goes up. And for the millennials and the younger generation, it's just going to be the new norm. I've said that 1,000 times. Number 4, there are no opportunities for growth. Another thing, a lot of times people become stagnated in their job. And then when they get older, they cannot move around as much. And this is the kind of economy you got to be able to move around. It's been like that for over 10 years, that you have to be able to have enough skill sets so that you can move around and not be stagnated. A lot of times people just get stagnated in one area because they're in that good old thing called the comfort zone. And the comfort zone is meant for your home, not for your job and how you make your money. That's just my personal opinion. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it's a lot of people, they don't have opportunity to grow. Growth is stagnant. And that's why a lot of times certain people don't want to work at governmental agencies because they don't feel like they could flourish to be who they are. A lot of people don't want to even work for anybody, period, because they want to be their own boss and they don't mind taking on the responsibility of what it takes to become their own boss. And before I go forward, shout out to Michael Alexander, and shout out to Antonio Flores. Michael Alexander is flying to he flew to Houston, Texas today. I hope he got there safe and sound. Houston's one of my favorite cities, so I got nothing but love for him. Shout out to Antonio Flores that's out there in Las Vegas. Nothing but love for you. Have a safe trip and, just continuously do what you're doing. All right. And I have nothing but love and respect for all the entrepreneurs that are out there, not to just have fun, but they're actually out there at a conference for their actual businesses are associated with these specific organizations, and they're all having a meeting of the mind. So you get to go to a city where they can have fun, 1, and then 2, they're actually able to make money moves at the same time and whatnot. Thanks for the love, Chris, man. I hope you're doing great, man. My brother Chris down there in good old San Antonio, Texas. All right. So number 5, the company's future is in question. We saw in 2007 where a lot of companies' futures weren't even just in question; they just went out of business. And a lot of those jobs that were actually eliminated during that time frame were never returned. People don't realize that. It's like the economy was looking very good before the pandemic. Nobody's arguing that. But a lot of all the jobs that were lost between 2007 and 2010. Did they all come back? No, but you had a good economy at the end of the day. That's just how it is. It's a boom and bust economy. And that behooves the employer to do their own research, and to always see what's happening. I mean, you work at a company or a government organization, you're going to constantly get emails and text messages in regards to where the company's at, where they're going. And then obviously you can look at other sources that's outside of the company parameters or the organization's parameters to see where the future of the actual organization is. And, that's why the millennial generation was the first generation where it was just easy to hop from job to job every couple of months or every couple of years and whatnot, because it's like, hey, I got to go not only where the money is, but two, I got to go where I'm, there's some sort of stabilization and whatnot, so I can not only make sure I have the income constantly coming in, but my skill sets are being enhanced all at the same time. So obviously, would you want to be with a company that the future's in question? I think not. All right. Number 6, your ethics are being compromised. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. If your ethics are being compromised, then why would you want to stay in an organization? We live in a time frame. If you have the will and the know-how, you can make some specific moves to be with the kind of company or create the kind of company that goes in, basically coexist with your values and your ethics all at the same time. Great example. That's why a lot of times people will work at it for a religious institution, if not a church, then a corporation that's considered a religious corporation that does specific things, like print Bibles and other spiritual quotes and things of that nature, Qurans, whatever have you, whatever your religious beliefs are. And then a lot of times you have people that will work for an organization that's a nonprofit organization that's not quote unquote a faith-based organization, but they do specific things that help out local communities or actual countries around the world. Like people will go work for Red Cross, or people will go work for a Greenpeace organization, or just your local organization that's actually helping. Because a lot of people actually do care about their community. They want to be able to contribute, all at the same time. Number 7. You're grossly undercompensated. Now, I say with that one, be careful, because if you do, because a lot of times people get into situations, and I ran into a lot of people with this, and I'm sure you all have as well. People will run into situations where they're actually very happy with what they do, but the pay is so little. All right. And that goes into, okay, well, are you making money in the 2021 world of people that are in their that are not in retirement mode? And I'm not trying to exclude retirement people. I'm just talking about people that are not just trying to sit down and be comfortable. I'm talking about people that want to grow. So if you quote unquote retirement age, but you still want to grow, then more power to you. Then I'm talking to you as well. Age is nothing but a number. Believe that. Because there are people that are younger than me that are retired mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'll leave it at that. Okay. Now, if you're grossly undercompensated for something, but you specifically love what you do, then the beautiful thing is to find other ways to make money outside of what you do. If not with the stock market, then maybe with real estate. If not with real estate, then maybe a side hustle. If not a side hustle, then maybe an actual company that you can partner up with other people so that you can actually make more money. And then so that you can continuously do what you love to do. I've met people, look, I'm from the DMV area, and I met a lot of people that left this area, or they came to this area because they followed their passion. They wanted to work for the government. They wanted to support the military. They wanted to support nonprofit organizations. They wanted to support lobbyist organizations because, Congress, the hub of the federal government's in the DMV area. The hub of the military is in the DMV area. Thank you to our service members. But you have a lot of people do that. They would come here and they do the here because they're actually making 6 figures and whatnot. But then a lot of instances, they actually love what they do. I got a lot of love and respect for that. But then you have a lot of people that will actually take a pay cut, move to another part of the country or parts of the world to do what they actually love to do. And what they, I've met people. I remember this was 10 years ago, but this one young lady was actually a manager of a store, and she wanted to live in Los Angeles so bad. And she lived in this area, and she left this area because she actually got to be a transfer from one store in this area to another store. And she actually ended up getting a job with a major Hollywood executive fashion organization because she was so great at fashion. I forgot her name. It was so long ago. It's like 2010, 2009. And last I seen on Facebook, she's been growing in that industry and in multiple other industries, and then actually connecting with people that are in that specific industry because she loves fashion. She didn't just want to have a job. She came from military parents like myself, but she did not want to work for the federal government. Anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. Anything wrong with working for the federal government? Absolutely not. But she just wanted something different. She wanted to be in another atmosphere where fashion and the entertainment industry was talked about, and she was able to get compensated heavily as well. And to be quite honest with you, say what you want about LA, LA. It's much more of a beautiful city than DC. I'm just gonna call it like I said. All right. I love palm trees and sandy beaches and mountains, so I'll leave it at that. Okay. Now, number 8, your values are not aligned with those of the organization. Once again, like it goes back to the previous one. If your values are not aligned, let's go with this. At the end of the day, when any job you have or business you have, if you own the business, obviously it needs to fall in line with your values. But at the end of the day, the rent people and the mortgage company doesn't, and the tax people and the insurance companies, they don't care about your values. They care about getting the check, getting paid for services and getting paid for the property and things of that nature. So any job you have, as long as you're not killing people and breaking the law, my philosophy is go with the CTC mentality, collect the check and move on until you can go to another organization and go from there. All right. Number 9, you're no longer able to fulfill your job responsibilities. Now, there's a lot of instances where people they might have some sort of physical issues. They could have some mental health issues, unfortunately. And or they just, not only that, they're just at a place where they're just not jazzed or enthused about the job whatsoever. That's why if you're going to just have a job, then it behooves you to keep your resume posted and your skills enhanced. Or, like I said, it definitely behooves people now to have backup plans economically and know how to make money in your sleep so that your job can get turned into an option. I'm just going to call that's why I like to go Standard Partners, because I'm going to buy cryptocurrency anyways. So, hey, and if you're interested, like I said, sign up. It's in the description field. I'm going to buy it anyway. So why not be able to get people to join as an affiliate, just like me. And if they're crypto investors, sign up. You buy crypto, you buy a package. I make money off your crypto. You make money off of other people's crypto, and we go from there. All right. But it behooves everybody to have a backup plan. What your backup plan is your business, but it behooves everybody to have a back. That's why most veterans in the military, they're very smart. They have their pension plans. They get money from the VA, rightly deserved. Plus they get a paycheck from a job. So it's normal for them to get 4 to 5 paychecks a month and whatnot. And even then, it still behooves you to have some sort of financial literacy and economic sense to where you can still, even in those situations, make money in your sleep so that you can have backup plans, because things will happen. All right. Okay. Number 10, there are substantially better opportunities available at another organization, and that's why it behooves you to not only have your resume posted or constantly put your resume out there, but it behooves everybody, whether business person or employee, to constantly communicate with people that are in the same industry so that you could, refer others for certain opportunities and they can refer you for certain opportunities, whether it's for a contract, it's for a job, whatever have you. Referrals and relationships matter. So constantly, even me as an introvert, I'm constantly talking to people on a regular basis, mostly online, but hey, I'm still engaging with people because it behooves me and it behooves them for us to have some sort of a relationship with each other. That's just where we're at now. Number 11, you need more work-life balance. And that's why teleworking is becoming the new norm in corporate America. I think I read an article about even OPM, the Office of Personal Management, is trying to make that the new norm in the federal government. I think that just makes sense. I think all governments and corporations that had the money and the IT infrastructure to make it happen, it behooves them to have a robust workforce that can not only be able to have the opportunity to work from home, but have the opportunity to work from any freaking state or country that they want to, because it's going to make life easier for everybody. Okay. And then if you have happy employees, then the productivity levels will go up. And that's what any organization wants. You want happy employees. You don't want miserable employees, because if you got miserable employees, especially in today's age, people are going to leave you constantly. It's just what it is. There are too many opportunities worldwide, not just in America, but worldwide nowadays, for people who have a decent head on their shoulders and have a lot to offer in this world. I'm just going to call it like I see it. All right. Number 12, you dread going to work. Now, this one, I'm going to take a step back, because let's be realistic. I think 90% of the population in the United States, I can't speak for the world, are not looking forward to going to work. Let's just keep it real. Let's be adults about this. They would rather turn over in their bed. I think the pandemic has done that for a lot of people too. They'd rather turn over in the bed and sleep a little longer, or if they're going to get up and do something, that's why it says it behooves people to follow their passion, and to be in a great environment, whether it's a business or your job, because you want to be able to be excited about going to places. Once again, me growing up in the DMV, I don't care if you was on the Maryland side of the Potomac River, the DC side, Northern Virginia side. When I used to get up super duper early in the morning to go to work, I would see, like, whether I was taking the metro, I was taking the bus, or I was just driving. It looks like the freaking Walking Dead. If you've ever seen the show, it literally looks like that scene down from the first season of The Walking Dead when people are going down in the downtown area of Atlanta and people just look miserable as all get out. You know, and that's all I can say. Chris says, life is good. Life is good and business is becoming great. Shout out to you, bro. Oh, no problem, brother. Thank you so much, Chris. I greatly appreciate that, man. It's definitely nothing but love, man. Continuously do the great things. If you want to, Chris, post your link in the comments, and I will post it for you. He's got a great business, and it'll help you to grow your business with reaching out consultants. So that's what it's all about, man. Just looking out for each other and going from there. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just think that that's where life was before the pandemic. Not so much now. But with things opening up, you just never know. But most people, I saw a lot of more people, especially when it first hit, that people were, exercising in the morning more. A lot of people actually took their health a lot more seriously because of the pandemic. I think at the end of the day, the pandemic needed to happen for one reason and one reason only. Unfortunately, people's lives passed away. But it's like I've said, you cannot allow society to get too comfortable. One, two. We can never take for granted any day that we are alive, especially any day that we are alive and we have our health. People can say what they want, but to the people that are very unhealthy and very sick, they know what I'm talking about. If there's things that they could do is to prevent what happened to them, they would, and that's just what it is. But you can never, ever take a day for granted in this life. A lot of people do that, and it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? So do you want to live a life that you're continuously dreading going to work? Because I've seen people that are very miserable. They get their good retirement from their job and all that good stuff, but yet and still they're miserable and they don't want to get up in the morning or whatnot. And then my whole thing is this too: if we're gonna really keep it real, do you want to work 20 or 30 years at a place that you don't like, be around people you don't like, live in an area that you don't like just so that you can get a freaking pension? And that's a question I can't answer for you. Just like you can't answer that question for me. Do you want to live that kind of lifestyle? That's my whole thing. You want to be jazzed about not only what you do for a living, jazzed about the people that you're around, and jazzed about the community that you live in. You don't just want to be a bump on a freaking log in society. Because I think people have got, especially before the pandemic, people were just used to being like that. Go along to get along or whatnot, and not make any waves in their life so that they can actually change the trajectory of their life. Just my personal opinion, all right? Okay, anyways, number 13, you can't picture yourself there long term. Okay, and I think most jobs, especially nowadays, most people don't have that long-term mentality. Most people have this is a short-term thing until something better comes along. This is a short-term thing until my business grows. This is a short-term blah, blah, blah. Like the list goes on and on. And that's what it is. A lot of times people will move to another country or another area. I remember during the days of the Iraq war when it first happened, a lot of people I knew actually went overseas as government contract, especially my blue collar workers. Shout out to you guys. The blue collar workers, they were going over there and they were making some serious money back in those days. And it was tax free. From a state perspective, yeah, I think you're only getting taxed from a federal perspective. So they made a lot of money. A lot of people came back to the U.S. They bought their homes. They created businesses. They paid off student loan debt. So a lot of times, a lot of things are short term, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Just make sure you land where you want to land. Business wise or job wise. Number 14, you wouldn't want your friends to work there. Now that says a lot because I've had the opportunity of helping friends get jobs, and I did regret one incident, but that was so long ago. We'll not speak about it, but yeah, or not even that. It's like you wouldn't recommend your friend to work there, and I kind of get that as well. It's like, okay, it's not the best place for you, so I mean, and obviously you wouldn't recommend anybody else to work there. So therefore, it's like, hey, it's not the place that you need to be for the rest of your life. I mean, heck, I've had jobs where I think the shortest time I was at a job was 2 days. I was a teenager though. I was at Dax Grill. I don't think they're open. Yeah, they're not open anymore. But yeah, I was a dishwasher for 2 days. I was like, yeah, this isn't me. And not that I think I'm better than dishwashers and whatnot, but the hour I was in high school and the hours didn't work with my schedule, and I just got a job with McDonald's. You know, it worked out better for me. And number 15, the last one, everything feels overwhelming. Now, we are all human. We all need to go through specific challenges in this life. A lot of times we're going to be overwhelmed, but if you're constantly overwhelmed, and a lot of times that's what happens when people become like directors of organizations and things of that nature. To me, if you're going to be at that level, you better be freaking passionate about what you're doing, because if you're not, and you're going to be at least be overwhelmed about something you're passionate about. There are a lot of parents that are overwhelmed with the situations that they're in. A lot of people in relationships that are overwhelmed, but they love the people that they're with. So my whole thing at the end of the day is, my phone just wants to keep going off. So my apologies, everybody. Let me turn this thing down. But anyways, yeah, it's like at the end of the day, it's like you want to be able to have a life to where you're not constantly stressed out, not constantly overwhelmed. For this pandemic, a lot of people, it affected them in a negative way, but the positive way is for a lot of people to cut the stress levels down by not having to be in a place they don't want to be, by not having to commute to a place that they don't want to be. And for a lot of people, especially in my corporate America folks, let me know where you're at, they were able to have the opportunity to say, you know what, from now on, telework forever. And a lot of people are happy about it. A lot of people have moved, left specific coasts in states and cities because they were told that you will be able to telework for as long as you want. And that was the green light for them to okay, so let's just keeping it real. Now, before I end this night off, family, there's one. The reason why I went over the 15 signs of why you should quit your job, or there's a sign, the sign that says it may be time to leave your job. And those are multiple reasons. And I'm sure there's more reasons I could add on and I could have looked for, but I was just going to keep it simple. That was long enough. But I'm going to go to an old study that was actually done in Time Magazine. And the study stated from 1990 to 2007, due to automation, 400,000 jobs were lost during that time frame. 400,000. That was from 1990 to 2007. All right. Now, to go deeper, it concludes that from 0 to a third of work activities could be displaced by 2030. Okay. From 0 to a third of work activities could be displaced by 2030. I mean, that's why you've had even people like Elon Musk and Andrew Yang have recommended having a guaranteed income every month, like they have in the state of Illinois, where basically you're getting paid a dividend. How the particulars of it, I know Andrew Yang was talking about taxing somebody specifically a little bit more so people can get a dividend. I think it's like $1,000 to $1,200 to $1,500 a month or something to that effect. I know in Alaska you get up to $1,000 a stipend a month from the oil companies. It's a deal that the state made with the oil companies. And so if you, like I said, if you're 5 people living in a house, you're making $5,000 a month if you live in the state of Alaska. So I got family members that are living up there, and it's about 6 or 7 of them live in the house, so they get between them $7,000 to $8,000, right, tops a month. Plus they have jobs. So you think about it. But and I believe the city of San Francisco, because it's the freaking most expensive city on the continental United States, right next to the state of Hawaii. I believe the mayor there has just passed some sort of guaranteed income for a certain amount of people, because the cost of living is just crazy. And I mean, let's just be realistic. Cities like New York and San Francisco are not for regular working people. It's for the money makers. It's it's like, if you're nothing against the janitors or security guards or the blue collar workers, but it's not meant for you to survive in those areas. It's just what it is. It's for the bigwigs. So but and those numbers, when it comes to 2030, it says in the U.S., 39 million to 73 million jobs could be destroyed by 2030. All right. And that's just something, to look into. Like I said, do your own research. So that's why I say we live in a time frame where putting on your eggs in the there's Chris's link from Reaching Out Consultants. So if you need any of his services, definitely do not hesitate to check them out. But we live in a time where it definitely behooves you to not have one income. We've known that for a decade now. But we live in a time frame now where you never put your all your eggs into the I have a nice job basket, because you never know where your job might end up going if you don't take actions. It's just what it is, depending on what you do. And even in that instance, why take the risk? It's like going out to a gunfight when you know you don't have a gun, or you don't even want to participate. Why take the risk? Okay, that's just my 2 cents on that one. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm going to call it a night. See if Chris, if you're still watching, if you want to come in and give you 2 cents on this topic, more than happy to before I call it a night. Time definitely is gone by. But or anybody else that's watching, please do me the opportunity to get the pleasure of speaking up. But if not, I will call it a night. Always greatly appreciated. Don't forget to check out the online store, family. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Those are the free things you can do. Thank you for the Cash App and the PayPals. It's always greatly appreciated, family. But I will call it a night. I think Chris is gone, so that's cool. Thank you for showing up again. I will put his link is in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely do not hesitate to check Chris out. Oh, okay, no problem at all, Chris. Yeah, it's all good. Hey, man, keep up the good work, brother. Hey, you got to continuously make those money moves. All right, brother. All right, family, I am out. I will see you guys later. And remember, to make money moves or live broke like a fool, family. Take care.